Peter Roberts was the first to start stage 6, and it was well and truly dark, with the afternoon stages now becoming night stages. And back at service, he was reflecting on the event.
I think it's the most difficult rally I've had to drive for a long time, because when you don't have to push to stay ahead and or catch people, it's hard to concentrate. And I'm not listening to the pace notes, and I'm on and off the throttle and braking early. And yeah, I'm hoping I'm glad there's only a couple of stages left, I can tell you.
Is the jockey beside you getting up you for not concentrating?
No, he's not that silly.
All right, so 2 stages to go. You would think you've got a comfortable lead going into the last 2, so just bring her home mentality surely from you guys now.
That's kind of been the mentality since about the last 3 stages, so yeah, pretty much, yeah, we'll just bring it home from here, hopefully avoid any issues, and yeah, as you say, get to the end.
Tony, absolutely sensational drive on the first stage. You got quickest car outright, beating Peter Roberts, Gavin Croker, Mick Patton, all them. Mate, it must have been a scary ride in the Citroen.
It was, and I reckon we did it again on that first time through again. Yeah, I've been having a go and just trying to get as fast as I can, so I'm really happy with the results.
So no conclusion on the gremlins, the gearbox gremlins that put a stop to you. The car seems to be back working okay again?
It's going like a beauty. We haven't really done anything to it. I think it must have just been a bit of water got in one of the wires going through the creek crossing, and it just, whatever happened, I've reset it and it's gone back to new again, and the last 3 stages the car's faultless.
All right, so just heard you talking to Carl there about the options for the last 2 stages. Championship points wise, probably not an option to go out and fight for anything. Are you going to have a crack at the last 2, or just put it on the trailer with being happy with some quick times for the day?
I think that's the answer. We need 4 more tyres, because these ones are pretty shagged. They've done a few Ks now, and I've been pushing pretty hard, and we've won nearly every stage so far today. So I'm pretty happy just to say, well, that's pretty good, and take the trail, cut my losses while I'm going in front.
And that's exactly what he did, withdrawing before the last 2 stages. Mick Patton had gone wide on a corner and damaged the oil cooler whilst leading the rally, and he too was out. By the second service, Richard Shimon was second, Ben Barker was in third, Chris Higgs in fourth, and 11 seconds behind was Tom Clark in fifth. Back at the second service, Charlie was chatting to the placeholders.
Like everyone, the dust is playing a big part in how you go. Even though you're on notes, and our notes have been fantastic, you're pushing, and then you'll come into a cloud, and you just can't see the road, so you can't commit to your notes. But we're having a lot of fun. We had a spin in our lights are terrible. And the first night stage, 800 metres in, just come down, then just a big wide out and too fast, and so I spun the thing. And other than that, we're having a great time. This next stage out of service will be tough on the car, especially on the 2-wheel drive, a lot of climbing, rutted hills, and you got to think of the drive line on this thing too, and we've busted a bit over the years, so I'm a bit wary of it. And but yeah, no, we'll hopefully get to the end, and I think we should be in a decent position.
The last group of stages in the dark there, mate. The boys in front of you on about the dust. How did you go?
Mate, look, it's been hard, that's for sure. We rolled into stage 4 just then and watched JJ take off at the start. Mate, the dust just hung around in the air. It didn't go away, so mate, we opted to take a 5-second penalty. We gained an extra minute, so we had a 3-minute dust gap. It sort of worked. I'm hoping it worked anyway. And then now that they've pushed it out to 3 minutes, mate, we've got a 4-minute gap. So hopefully that call has helped us out.
All right, well, Peter's probably safe enough, bar mechanical at the front, but there's a podium still to fight for the last 2 stages, mate.
Yep. Look, we were watching the times there, and we knew we had probably 30 or 40 to grab out of a couple of guys to get up there. So, look, if we can grab a minute in the next couple of stages, mate, we might be able to get there, but we'll give it a shot.
5 over crest. 5.
The ever-popular and legendary
3,
River Road would be
2,
stage 8 and the
1,
final stage of
go.
the event, and Peter Roberts in the
Left
Lancer
4
EVO
opens.
started the stage with a lead of
Left 5
almost
over
2
crest.
minutes over second place
90.
Shimon.
Right 5 plus over crest. Right 5 plus over crest, 80. Right 2 wide entry, stay in on exit.
Right 5 over plus 80, yep.
80.
Bit
Yep.
louder.
Right 2 plus wide entry, stay in on exit. Into left 4 opens over crest. 80, left 4 long opens. Stay in, into Into left 2 opens, then wide entry, left 2 stay in on exit.
It was highly likely that unless something major went wrong on the 10 kilometre
Into right 2
stage,
plus stay
they
in.
would retain the lead and win the rally.
Into left 2 plus.
Yeah, I think we probably got there in the end, but I've been driving probably like me mother for the last 3 or 4 stages, probably the last 5 or 6 stages. But yeah, I've been driving a little bit too slow and not getting rhythm, and yeah, it's difficult when you kind of got a bit of a lead and you're not pushing to catch anybody, and I'm just not concentrating and listening to my co-drive. But we got here finally. I was thinking we mightn't for a while. No, we were quickest in the last one by a handful of seconds, and this one we probably dropped a bit, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I think we were right.
Well done.
Thank you.
Richard Shimon was on a charge in second, but he had a big gap to make up to be able to win the rally.
Now, you came into the 2 night stages, I think, sitting in second outright. Obviously, you've got all the people finishing in front of you so you can see the time. So how do you think you're going?
I've got no idea. I've got no idea. I actually don't. We don't look at the times, really.
Ben Barker was holding on to third by just 2 seconds and was pushing hard.
Yeah, no, it's been quite good. I was really looking forward to River Road with no dust, but it was just so patchy in there, and just all in the wrong places where the dust was. But it's the same for everyone, but it really wrecked a good road, a bit of dust, but, that's nature, isn't it?
Chris Higgs started the River Road, needing to beat Barker by at least 3 seconds to take third outright. With some excellent driving, he managed to beat Barker, but only made up 2 seconds and had to settle for a tie.
How was that stage?
A little bit slippery, I found it, but we sort of had a bit of a go and see what comes out of it at the end of the stage. We've had little dramas, but we've kept it all on the ropes and brought it home in one piece again.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
The dust certainly didn't look like it was slowing Tom Clark down. He was on a charge. Equalling the 4th fastest time in stage 7 with Richard Shimon, Clark went on to set the 2nd fastest time on the final River Road stage, just 3 seconds behind Roberts. But would it be enough to make up for the issues earlier in the day, and more importantly, enough to get him onto the podium?
Oh, mate, that was a bit diabolical then. We had a couple of moments then just coming around, and it does sweep around here a lot, so coming around a couple of those corners, mate, and just got blanked by a big blanket of dust. So yeah, that was a bit of a hard start of that one.
Obviously, watching the times of Peter in front of you, have you been making up any time?
Oh, look, we may have got him on 1 or 2, but mate, our damage was done pretty early on in the day when in the first stage we dropped a minute or so. So we've been playing catch up. Look, I think we've done all right. We've been dragging a bit out here and there when we can. But look, we'll just see how we end up. We push through to the end, so let's see how it goes.
Into 7 left, into long 3 right.
Tim Wilkins and Katie Fletcher were sitting in 6th on the leaderboard and 2nd in 2-wheel drive going into the 2 night stages. Consistent driving and a level head would see them hold on to 6th outright by the end of the final stage.
Really happy after that one. I'm sad it's over. Weren't fast through it, but man, we had a fun time.
Clearly sitting in 2nd in 2-wheel drive, Ben was pretty hard to beat in this event, wasn't he?
Uncatchable. Look, I'm just absolutely stunned by the speed he's got, and it's also it's a good benchmark to look for in the future, but nowhere near him.
You're a lot quieter than he is.
Probably so, yeah. But no, look, we had a good time. Yeah, it's been a good event.
What do you think of the dust in the event? Has it held you up, do you think?
Not a whole lot. I wasn't really confident to push in the night anyway, so we were sort of taking it fairly easy this afternoon anyway, so I don't think it slowed us down very much.
Brett Middleton was the next of the 2-wheel drives on the road, but he was having a few dramas and was relying on a secondary power source to keep the car running.
To a left 3 plus opens very long.
Their time on the River Road was over 30 seconds slower than Tom Dermody in the Ford Escort, and they slipped from 9th outright back to 10th.
Repeat, very long, into a right 4 plus.
Brett Middleton, how's it going?
Not many revs on that stage. Unfortunately, we couldn't enjoy it as much as the stage just deserves, because we got no alternator and we put the truck battery in the back of the car for the final 2 stages. So we've been running on only barely 12 volts, and it doesn't generate a lot of electricity to help it with the revs. So look, it's still good fun. We got to the finish. I think we're scratched in at 7th outright, so we're pretty happy with that.
I would have thought you'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, well, I finished the last 2 rallies with DNF, so it's good to get to the end of the event, and it's a great way to get there. We've just got to get back into town, so as long as I don't stall it, we'll be right, because I don't think it's going to start.
So let's check out the leaderboard. Peter Roberts wins the event by just under 2 minutes, with Richard Shimmin in second. Ben Barker and Chris Higgs tied for 3rd place, and despite the push in the last few stages, Tom Clark wasn't able to make up the time he needed and had to settle for 5th. But in what was probably the most outstanding drive of the rally, Tom Ryan drove from a seated position of 27th to finish a very impressive 7th outright and 3rd two-wheel drive.